This video actually marks a full year since I started making these music listening update videos. And I'd have to say that these are probably some of my favorite videos that I make, especially consistently. I really look forward to doing these every month, and I'm happy that a lot of people seem to like these as well, and I appreciate the support and feedback from um, everybody. It's just like it's something that I really enjoy doing, just kind of talking about what music I've been listening to. Is it just changes so much, and some things stay the same, and just like it's fun to see what I get into in certain months and how it changes each month. And it'll be great for me to like go back and like reflect on certain things as well. Over the years, I just really like going back and like music that brings me back to certain times. And November this year was a lot better than I was feeling in November of last year when I started making these videos. So I've kind of come a long way. My hair has grown with the time as well. But November this year actually went by a lot quicker than October did. I was talking about my last update video that October seemed to go by really slow, but November really seemed to go by this year. This last day of November actually landed perfectly once again on a Saturday, so I'm getting to like make the full like November update. I guess the like best day would probably be the first day of December because, but I don't really see anything changing too much in the next few, and like the next like 12 hours or so. So, but I've been listening to a lot of stuff once again. Always listening to a lot of stuff. But I've been trying to listen to some of my stuff from 2024, like my favorite albums of 2024. Still trying to get my list going for the end of the year, and I'm honestly kind of struggling with it a little bit, trying to narrow it down to certain albums. I have a pretty good idea though, and I think this next month I'm really gonna be working on it well to try to get it out at the end of the month. It's something I've enjoyed doing, trying to put things together and just kind of go off of what feels right. But it is hard to narrow it down sometimes. So there's been a lot of great music that's come out this year, and some just even just recently. So, but the story this month is that it kind of swapped for me here with the top listening. Last month it was Judas Iscariot. I was listening to him a lot, and just like really just listening to him a lot, and black metal in general. And I was listening to a little bit of the artist Yeet, but now it's like kind of reversed, and I've just been listening to Yeet like crazy, like insane. But I've still been listening to a little bit of Judas Iscariot and like Immortal here and there, like just some black metal mixed in just occasionally. But I've mostly been listening to Yeet. Yeet has just been a huge artist for me this month. I've really been loving 2093. I just like fallen head over heels in love with that album, and I'm just really excited about it. Just like there's just so many great just just like sounds within hip hop that I love so much that are comforting to me, and just like modern hip hop, and then just like he put this like kind of like psychedelic twist on it, and this like dystopian kind of like concept to the album, and it's really a solid album. I really like it, and just like been listening to it like all the time, almost every day this month. Honestly, I've just been really loving listening to it. It's been fitting well with like my like Christmas time and like stuff. It kind of brings me back to like high school when I was just listening to a lot of like modern hip hop, and just been kind of comforting to me. And it's just such a really great album. I just really been loving it so much. And um, I've also been listening to his album that got me into him last year, Afterlife, and I really got interested in that album last year. It was just so interesting. I kind of talked about this last time, so I won't try not to get too in depth about it. But um, I just been like listening to these back to back. I like listening to 2093, and then it like just yeah, I just feel like it just transitions so well um, into Afterlife, and I just love when that first little bit, like that first beat comes in, like the synth sounds from Afterlife right after 2093 kind of abruptly ends. It puts a smile on my face every time. I just think it sounds so good, and I just really like it. It just flows so well together. So but it's hard to find the time to listen to those back to backs. They're both like over an hour long. So, but I've usually been doing that when I've been downstairs like playing Minecraft or something, just kind of goes with that pretty well. Sitting with the Christmas lighting and stuff in the evening. It's getting dark early now, which I don't mind, honestly. A lot of people complain about that, but I like it. But yeah, I just been really listening to him like crazy. I've really been enjoying those two albums especially, just so much. Just been really liking listening to that. Um, but I mentioned Judas Iscariot and Immortal, kind of like just not. I haven't been listening to them much at all, but just the same kind of albums. I'll throw them on the screen here, and yeah. But moving on from there, another big album I've been listening to this month is the new Cure album, Songs of what is it? Sorry, Songs of a Lost World. That's what it is. Really, actually, like, took me by surprise. I was like pretty like anticipating this album coming out, and I I guess I didn't have too much high hopes for it, but I remember seeing the album art and like being like, oh, like album art is like a big thing for me. Like, yeah, you shouldn't judge an album by its cover or whatever, but that album artwork is a really big deal for me, and I usually like to see like I really need to like the album art for me to really like the music sometimes. Like it's kind of tricky, but um album art just goes along with the music so well, and just like the color scheme just kind of reminds me of it, and it's just like a whole thing in my head that I do. But um this album ended up being really good and one of their best, I'd say. I just really love just like the 80s, this kind of a throwback to like their 80s sound, and just like some of their best stuff is really comparable to some of their best stuff, I'd say. And I've really been enjoying listening to that on like a gloomy day. It's crazy that Robert Smith's vocals would just sound exactly the same as they did back in the 80s. Like, it's pretty wild, but it's a really solid album, and definitely it's just like it's good for any of those like hardcore Cure fans, or just people that just love their stuff. It just like it's an album for them. It's an album for the really big fans of the Cure, and I think they just nailed it so well, and I've really been enjoying that and excited to keep listening to that. Definitely gonna be on my album of the year list. But in that same kind of sphere, I've been gotten into. I saw it teased around a bit, like through like the underground stuff. It's like this artist is very like not well known at all. Has another project called Dernier Volonté that I've talked about on here a bit, especially in this past years. I got pretty into that music. But he has this project called Position Parallel, which is the same person, and they released an album just like this month, and it is incredible. Honestly, I've been loving it so much. It's called I'm gonna try to pronounce it. It's in French, like Aquil et Découdre. I'm sure I didn't say that right, but I'm not French. I don't know how to speak French, but you get the idea. I have it on the screen here. But it's just like an incredible synth pop album. It's like everything I love about synth pop is on this album, and he just does it so well. And just like the lyrics in French, it just makes it even better. It's just like it's so nice. I just love it so much. It's just like there's like an instrumental track towards the beginning. I forget the name of it right now. I'll try to throw it on the screen. But it reminds me a lot of Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark. Their album Architecture and Morality, which is one of my favorite albums of all time. Just like synth pop masterpiece, and that song really reminds me of a lot of the sounds from that album. But this whole album is just like so catchy and fun, and just it's so nice. It's just everything I love about synth pop. So if you like synth pop, please listen to this album. But yes, this album is a big deal, but this kind of starts the like I have a trilogy of albums here that are looked at as my red albums, because all of them have red covers. And I was painting a bathroom throughout the month. Like I had to put like a shit ton of coats on it, because it was like a dark blue before, and like I ended up putting like 5 coats on the bathroom, so it was like spaced out. But when I was painting the bathroom red, I wanted to listen to red album art albums, and so Position Parallel, and then I listened to the Floating Points Cascade album, which I've mentioned on here before. Great like ambient techno album. Really been loving that. And then the artist Blackie, released kind of like a short album called um, he's been on my radar for a little while. It's like this kind of like noisy industrial like punk rap artist, hip hop artist, and it's just like really just he's just really just like in your face and just like telling you how he's feeling and just like fuck you to the world kind of thing. But it's really great album if you're into like more like hardcore hip hop, like industrial hip hop and stuff. Really solid. I'm glad that came out. I got it on Bandcamp. But yeah, those are my red albums. I was really enjoying listening to those while painting red. It's just like a color thing in my head that I like to do sometimes. But moving on from there, I just started mentioning a little bit of Blackie with the like hip hop stuff, but I have a few more hip hop albums on here that I've been listening to a bit, and there's one by an artist I've never heard of before until recently. They're on the Backwoods record label, which is Billy Wood's record label, and it's by the artist Cavalier and Child Actor, and the album is called Scene. But I've been really enjoying listening to this some as well. It's just a great kind of abstract hip hop album, conscious hip hop album, and I just wanted to check it out. So Backwoods usually just always releases great things, and just like it's like the hip hop style that I love so much, or a hip hop style that I love so much. I'm picky about any genre, but I really enjoy stuff like this within hip hop. Obviously, I was mentioning Yeet earlier, and that's like trap, but I'm very picky about a lot of trap music, and I usually don't listen to a ton of trap music, but Yeet just like pulled me in hard, and I do like some trap, and it's been growing on me a lot, but I still love stuff like this too, this underground stuff, the Billy Wood sphere. And also mentioning that, I wanted to mention the new album by Ka, The Thief Next to Jesus, his final album, he passed away. Big influence to Billy Woods, I was just mentioning, and I had never really been into him before. It's really just like very low-key album, really cool, just like gospel style beats and stuff, gospel samples. It just has this like nice flow, and just brings up some interesting topics that I feel like people aren't talking about as much within hip-hop. And he's been around for a while. I never heard of him until recently, and it's really solid. I've been wanting to, it's been pulling me back, making me want to listen to that one more as well. And the last artist I want to mention is Denzel Curry with his new album, Kings of the Mischievous South, Volume 2. I've mentioned this a few times throughout this year, but it keeps pulling me back, just like that sick, like Memphis sound from the 90s mixed with like some more like modern hip-hop sounds. And he just like nails it. It's just like a perfect style. It's one of my favorite albums by him so far. I know he said himself that he doesn't like it that much, but it's really solid. I really enjoy it. I just really like that style of hip hop, and I think it just matches his aesthetic so well, and his personality so well. But he released like another like kind of extended version of it. I don't really like the like extra tracks on it. I kind of just like the original album that's like a little over 30 minutes long. So that's kind of the one I go off of and listen to the most. But lots of bangers on that album, really solid. I really enjoy listening to that. But get back into some more like metal stuff here to kind of towards the end here, just kind of just go through some of these things. There's an artist called Dequisitor that I got into last year, there, the end of last year. I kind of found this album, so I was getting into some more like kind of brutal death metal stuff. I was kind of interested in stuff like that. I mean, I've always been interested in stuff like that, but I was getting like deeper into it, I guess. And I found this album from like other album I was listening to that was on my year-end list last year. And but this album's called Apotheos. I think that's how you pronounce it. But it's really just like solid, just brutal death metal album, and it's just fun to put on. It just like scratches those itches for me in my head, and just really been enjoying that a lot. And I actually have a tape of it, which is exciting. I saw that at like my local record store. Actually wearing the shirt for them right now, the Final Conflict. But I saw that and I was like, oh man, I gotta go get this. Like, I have to get this. But also within the metal sphere, I've really been going to a lot of Comfort. And I've been just really going for a lot of comfort music this month, and like the stuff I'm listening to the most has really just been like pulling me back. It's just like stuff and like that just makes me feel comforted and like from my childhood and stuff. And my guilty pleasure artists, as I talked about in that video I made, and the big two are Disturbed and Breaking Benjamin. Been listening to them a lot. Disturbed, Believe, and 10,000 Fists. 10,000 Fists is like just so unbelievably nostalgic for me. I still absolutely love this album cover so much. It just like brings up so many feelings inside me. But I Believe is, I think, is the better album of the two, and I really like Believe. Like I just really like the sounds on this album. It's I mean, I really love the sound of 10,000 Fists, and I love the whole album too, but Believe, just like, there's just something about this album. I think it's the best Disturbed album, honestly, and really enjoy listening to it. Um, and Breaking Benjamin, I mentioned them last month too. It's just like, I just can't get away from them, honestly, but I've mostly just been listening to Phobia again. Phobia is just like the album that like got me into them, interested in them. When I was a kid, I was listening to a few songs off of it, and then I just like in recent years like found it again and just like really just loved the whole album. It's so fun to sing along to, and I still want to dig. Like I'm fairly familiar with most of the discography now, but there's still some other albums I really want to try to get into eventually too. But I just really been digging into them. I just really like them. There's such a comforting sound to me, and especially around this time of year, just like when I first got like my iPod Nano, I just made a video about that, and just like this is the stuff I was listening to when I was a kid, and it's what got me more into like metal music, and I just like appreciate it and just really like it. It's so fun to go back to, and it just makes me feel good, which is a big thing for music for me, is making me feel good. Um, I've also been listening to, going back. I was listening to this around this time last year too. Kind of got back into them. That's the Devil's, the Devil Wears Prada. This like Christian metalcore bands. They don't think they identify as Christian anymore, but this album Plagues, they definitely did. And I was really into this in sixth grade. I had a friend that really got me into them in sixth grade, and going back to this album is just fucking sick, man. I just love it. Like the vocals are so good, the instrumentation is just so good. It just like really scratches that itch for me, within metalcore. And I don't listen to metalcore that much, but this is like probably my favorite metalcore album if I had to pick one. And I just love this album. I don't really care too much about their other stuff too much and their discography. I mean, yeah, I want to listen to it, and I probably will start listening to it more, like if I keep getting more into them again. But this album is just so sick, man. I just really fucking love it. Got the CD of it, and I've had that CD since sixth grade when I really got into them, and it's just such a solid album, and it's just like fun to listen to. And another artist I want to mention here is just kind of the one I've been getting into the most, like in the past just like few days. Honestly, it's been stretched out a little bit through the month, just because I guess I should get that into a minute and introduce them first. But the artist I'm talking about is Thursday. This is post-hardcore bands from the early 2000s, late 90s, and they're active through about the 2000s. I think their last full length came out in 2009. They did release a new single for like the first time since then, this past year. And what got me like interested in listening to them again is I've always loved their album Full Collapse. I had the CD of that. This is probably one of my favorite post-hardcore albums ever. Emo, screamo, whatever you want to call it, within that sphere. But my girlfriend Caitlin actually saw that My Chemical Romance is going to be touring next year, and that one of the dates that's close to us in New Jersey is Thursday is going to be performing with them. And I was like, when she told me that, I was like, oh, Thursday, like that's awesome, like that's sick. I would be cool to see Thursday. And she's like, she didn't really know who Thursday was, but then she like realized she had liked a song by them, off of Full Collapse, the first song, or I guess the second song technically after the intro, Understanding in a Car Crash. And so I've been just like, I was like, oh, we need to listen to the whole album together, and I started playing it in the car and like started like screaming the lyrics and stuff and going along with it, and she just like loved it, and now she's really fallen in love with that album as well. It's just one of my favorites. It's so good. But I was listening to that like over the month, like the past few weeks, But just in like the past few days, I've been like, oh, I've been pulled back into Thursday, just like really sucking me back in now. I'm just like wanting to dig more into their discography. As I listened to some of their other stuff in the past and it didn't really click with me, so I'm like trying to revisit it now, and I've been enjoying it a lot, and it's like been pulling me back. I want to keep listening to it. That's like going to be my new obsession, I feel like, and I'll probably be talking about it on the next video next month. But um I've listened to Full Collapse, obviously, of course, that's probably been the most, but in the past few days, I've been trying to listen to War all the time, and A City by the Light Divided, which are the two albums after Full Collapse, and I've been liking them a lot. They're a different sound than Full Collapse, but still just in that same just sphere of music, and I've been enjoying it a lot, and I'm excited to keep listening to them, and I want to really listen to their whole discography and just like kind of I love getting into discographies. I love when an artist like pulls me in and I get to just like discover all their albums and just really listen to all of them and see how I feel about them. It's always so exciting for me. I really love doing that, and that's like a big thing that I usually find an obsession, somebody to dig deep into, and I'm so excited for that, like into the future. Just I can be able to keep digging into artists at certain times. I get into them at certain times, and I'm just excited about that. But Thursday's been big. I'm really excited to keep listening to them, and I'm thinking about maybe trying to catch them on a tour day. They're gonna be like in Maryland, like just north of DC, and I might give in and try to get tickets to that show. I think it will be fun as hell. They're touring with Silverstein, which I haven't listened to much of Silverstein, but I should listen to them too before I go to their like buy tickets for their show. But I just think it would be so fun, and I think Caitlin would really love it too. It would be a great time for us to go do that. So we'll see if that happens. But I've got one more artist here I wanted to mention here at the end that's just been in the past few days as well, and it's an artist I've been into very much in the past, and it's one that I never really thought I'd ever be able to listen to again because it's so linked with my ex-girlfriend. And that was a big thing that just like destroyed me last year when we broke up. But this album is one we like really bonded over. My ex-girlfriend and I bonded over a lot, and it was a big deal when we first started dating. But and when we saw them like right before we broke up too together, which is like, but I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. But the Postal Service, their album Give Up, it's been pulling me back in. I've been wanting to give it a try again. I just feel like it's kind of like a growth for me, I guess, like fully like getting over my ex-girlfriend. Not fully, obviously, it's fully, but really just been feeling so much better about it, and just like not caring anymore, and just like really accepting getting past that time and moving on, and feel completely moved on, and I'm just like trying to be like yes, it still brings up memories of the times, and they were very exciting, but they haven't really making me that sad or anything. I've been listening to it and just really been just like loving singing along to it, and it's something I just still really like. It's just a great album, and I'm excited that I can listen to it again. I just wasn't really ever expecting to be able to, but that just shows just the growth and recovery I've gone through just like in the past year, and especially in just like the past 6 months. Really finding myself again and being happy with myself. But this album's just really great, and it's an emotional album, which makes it like kind of harder for me to listen to it, but it's really not that bad at all. And I've been excited that I really can listen to it again, and I'm probably gonna keep listening to it some in the future. It's just a good album, good indie-tronica album. One of my favorite albums of all time. Just like I'd say, it's a perfect album, 10 out of 10. Every song is just so great, so fun to sing along to, and yeah. But so yeah, that kind of wraps up November 2024 listening. We've only got one more for the year, and then we'll be 2025, and I do plan on keeping making these. I really enjoy making these, so this is kind of like my thing on my channel now, I guess. It's just like every month, like consistently, I want to keep doing this, and like even if I like have like a lull and don't want to make other videos, like I know I always have these videos I want to make. And so you guys, if you like watching these, you can always look forward to these. I'm planning on always making these every month, and I don't want to miss every month. I want to make it a thing to not miss one. Sure, it might be late or a little early sometimes, like just depending on how it falls when I can shoot the video. But yeah. But once again, I really appreciate the support and people actually liking my videos. I never expected to be able to really just like talk like this to a camera, feel like this, just say things and talk about things that I like, and for people to actually like it and not give me shit about it. So I appreciate that, and I'm excited to keep doing these in the future. But um, thanks for watching today, and if you could please support my friends here on the side. Links in the description as always, and yeah, thanks again, and see you guys next time.